Welcome to the world of Jalara, where the people of Genesis Battle of Champions live. Our in-store gameplay community is growing. Visit GenesisBattleofChampions.com to find a local game store near you. Our list of international distribution partners continues to grow. Ask your local game store to contact one of these fine companies and have your store join our Play network. Visit GenesisBattleofChampions.com to explore the lore of the lands. There are chapters of lore that you can read, chapters of lore that you can watch, and there's also a helpful map where you can learn where all of the key characters in the next set live inside the world of Jalara.
down, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard. They ain't down, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard. Free up the guys, then dip out the ends. Jump in the ride, then burn out the rims. Don't stop, don't coach, the boy that I'm in. Now we on the block with the up for events. Skin kept close, could you put on them with the tits on 10. Back in the back, that's on tap, all ready to go and jump in. They ain't down, they just think they are. Another little wannabe gangster trying to play hard.
Tell me why I always need to survive off your love, your love. 'Cause every time you fire at me, it kills all the fun, kills all the fun. Every blink of an eye brings a new drop of blood from the sky, but I don't mind, 'cause the way that you lie makes me feel so alive, feel so alive. 'Cause the rhythm awaits, waiting for my bones to break.
Hey, I remember to turn my mic on. My name's Jason, and over to my right, it's my good friend and co-host, Jeff. Jeff, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing very well, Jason. I'm a little bit out of sorts because of the time difference. Sorry about that, everyone. But
Oh,
other
it's
than
all
that,
good.
doing all right.
You're worth waiting for, buddy. It's all good. We're gonna have a fun night tonight talking about some Genesis.
I think so.
I playfully called tonight's episode something to the effect of "Keep on truckin'," just because I thought it might be fun to share some of the little behind the scenes details for anyone who might be curious. Because I know I was always curious when I was just a fan of all the games and not directly involved in any what it's like on the other side of the coin, to be looking at things from a manufacturing perspective, from a company perspective, from a logistics perspective. And this has been a very interesting time for us because, Jeff, as you know, and as some of our viewers will likely remember, as I've mentioned over the last couple of weeks, we've been in the process of doing a very large shipment, trying to get it shipped from Canada to our new distributor in the States. And it's been a very fun and challenging task to get done at the same time. It's neat because this is the first time that we ever had so much product that we need to ship at once that we need to ship it on shrink wrap pallets as opposed to just having a guy or girl in the truck show up and us handing them boxes. It would take all day to do that with the amount that we're shipping out. So, and I've learned a little bit. It's been pretty fun. And I thought I might share a little bit of the details on what it's like when you're trying to ship these massive orders from one country to another. Uh,
Sure.
and then, Cardboard Quotes is heading back to the game. If he wins the wheel, give it to someone in the chat. Okay, so we know
We'll
that
respin
now.
if Cardboard Cohorts wins.
There you go. Perfect. So,
Speaking of which, Jason,
yeah,
if you don't mind me interrupting quickly
no,
there,
not at all.
we've got 9 people watching and we've got 2 people commenting. So we need more people commenting so I can add them to the magic wheel so that we spin that wheel and you get a pack of invasion. Yes, of invasion
No, that's
cards.
right.
Sorry,
Yep.
to take home. We send them out to you basically. So do comment. You can just say hey if you're shy, and we will add you to the magic wheel. So I know a lot of you are watching, so just drop your comments on there. Oh, there we start already. Timmy T's in there,
There you go.
and now you can
It's
go back
just
to
that
what you were
easy.
talking about. Yep,
Yeah,
just
it's
that
just
easy.
just that easy to get a chance to win a fun prize. All you have to do is be here during the live event and just say anything in the chat, as Jeff said, even just a hey, a hi, a ho, a he, ha ha, anything that starts with the letter H, really. Hello,
Pretty much.
you know. Oh,
Pretty
we
much.
got
Yeah.
Madtown joining in the chat. We got Jeremy. Oh, Will Kemp going with a different vibe, saying
Oh,
boo, boo. So
wow.
I on the other hand would never boo Will. So I would only cheer Will. So cheers,
I
cheers
thought
to
Will was our
Will.
boo though.
Oh, that boo, right? Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
the
that kind of
boo.
boo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, what's up, boo? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
I get
yeah.
you. Nah, see, that's how old I am. I'm out of date, Jeff. You picked up on that.
Oh no,
That's good.
that's out of date too now. I think Boo is passe. So is Bay, I believe. I don't know what they're on to now. We'd have to ask the kids in the chat because I think we're out of
I,
it.
the last I heard, things were getting lit, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it stayed lit,
Oh
if it
no,
went out. I'm
that's
not sure what happened,
oh,
but
oh, we're on to Riz now, Jason. We're on to Riz.
Riz, ooh,
Yeah.
like Riz from the grave kind of thing. Like,
No, no,
no,
it's
not like
short
he's
for
risen.
oh shoot, someone just told me what it was short for. Now I can't even remember. But it's like a positive thing. It's
Oh, okay.
someone in the chat might know. If not, I don't want to have to look up Urban Dictionary for it.
There you go. So yeah, so Madtown Hobby, I'm sure he in particular is going to be interested in hearing a little bit of the update because of the fact that charisma.
Charisma, yes,
Oh,
Riz is charisma. So if you got the Riz,
yeah.
Jason, you've got charisma. That's how it
Nice,
works.
nice. You know who has lots of Riz? Madtown Hobby. He is a very
He sure does.
rhythmatic kind of guy. And I know he's going to be very interesting to hear a little bit of the update
Hmm.
because he's one of the stores down in the States, one of those very cool brick and mortar
Hmm.
stores that you got to support. Who's already placed an order for some product from the new distributor,
Yep.
Indie Pro Games, based out on the West Coast, but shipping all across the States. And it's been an interesting time, and I've learned some things that some of them really surprised me and caught me off guard. So if you don't mind, I'll go into my story a little bit. So the first thing I was thinking was, well, I need to go ahead and call up all the companies that I know do shipping and try to get these pallets, these big, massive pallets shipped to the States. So here's a look here at some logos. This is just some of the major companies that I called right away. I started off with Purelator. I don't think they're actually in the States, but they ship to the States via UPS. They have a partnership. So my American friends might not recognize them, but in Canada, Purelator is one of the biggest and most well-known and respected couriers. So I got a quote from them. Then I reached out to Canpar, which is naturally a Canadian-based trucking company. While they do freight, they told me that they don't do freight to the States, so that one was a bust. I reached out to FedEx, and they gave me a quote after going through a little bit of hoops of sorting some stuff out. I also called UPS because you'll see there's a logo for UPS Freight there. Turns out, I guess a few years ago, UPS sold their freight wing of their company to another company called T-Force Freight. So that was a little confusing because the guy put me on hold and then a different company was talking to me and I was like, "Wait, what's going you you're saying T something, but I called UPS. What's going on?" And he's like, "Oh yeah. We bought them years ago." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's good. Somebody told me. I didn't know what was going on. I was very confused." So I reached out to all of them. Those are the first four that I got, and I'll give you an idea here, just to hide this from the screen for a second so I can put something else on the screen. That's right, I've got graphics today, folks. This story comes with pictures. So just to remind everybody, they might have seen this picture before. This is just a tiny, tiny little sample of what pallets look like. We got all sorts of booster boxes of Invasion piled up on one skid, like something like, I think it's 40 cases worth of Invasion. And then the other skid is a mixture of Jalara, second edition, and Origins, and then the promo packs and basically everything else that you would want to get down to a distributor, everything that stores are going to need, playmats, all that stuff. So we got like these two really big pallets. And give me here a second here. I got another graphic here. Nope, that's the same graphic, different graphic here. So we wanted to send these down to the States. And so I got, here's a graphic here. So I got a little graphic. We're going to ship two pallets to the States. And hey, look at the cute little truck. Hey, look at the cute little truck driver. There's Janice driving the truck. Meet me. Hey, Janice. Nice to see you on the screen. So then we got to ship these two pallets, and I called all the main ones first, as I had listed a minute ago. And I was shocked at the price disparity, like meaning the range in prices from somewhere around where I expected to numbers that I totally did not expect at all. And I mean big numbers, not small numbers. I was shocked. So one of these four companies, and just to not badmouth anybody's favorite company, I won't say who, but one of these companies came in at the most affordable of all the major easy to Google shipping ones. And in Canadian funds, it was somewhere around the area of give or take around $2,900, just a little bit under $3,000. That was ironically one of the first ones I called, and it was a fairly reasonable amount, I thought, based on the fact that we're shipping two massive pallets at a wholesale price. It's well into the five digits, like well up. Like we're not talking 10 grand, we're talking bigger. So I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. But then one of the other companies, one of the ones that I got, which will not be named, they came in at $8,500. And I'm like, from 2,800 to 8,500 to ship the same two things from the same address to the same address. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Like, are they putting these pallets on like down mattresses and stuff and just like wrapping them in silk sheets while they drive them there? Or like, I couldn't figure it out. I was like, that's crazy. And then the other two out of the main four that you see on the screen, they were somewhere in the middle. One was on the lower end around 3,500. One was really right in the middle, like around 48 or $5,000. And I was like, oh my God, all these companies, these major companies that you would think would be maybe competing against each other, but I guess not really. Some of them want to do freight, some of them don't, I guess, because I really got the vibe from the one company in particular that quoted $8,500 to ship the stuff that they didn't care at all. Like it was very much like, yeah, sure, we'll come do it if you pay us triple the price, and we like, sure, twist our arms, we'll do it. And then so I put out a little call on Facebook to my friends because I know, hey, Ed Tuck, welcome to the chat tonight. I know a lot of friends who, obviously, I know friends who work in game stores and things like that. And I know people in the gaming industry, but then I also know some people in other industries where they ship a lot of product as well. I asked for some recommendations of who they use for international shipping, and I was extremely, extremely happy that I did that because I got a couple great recommendations from companies that I'll be honest, I had never heard of before. One of them was actually located about a 10-minute drive in the old town that we used to have our store in Penetanguishene. And there's one based out of there. And I'd actually never heard of them, I guess, because they mainly do international, not local truck driving. But it was fascinating to learn. And at the end of the day, the best quote that we wound up getting as of today was way down at just $1,200 as opposed to the crazy amounts that we had been quoted. And I was very happy because here, let me add these graphics here. We're shipping 2 pallets, each weighed about 550 pounds, somewhere around there. Uh, the value is it's actually over 20 grand is the value that we're shipping, and that's just at wholesale price. So it's mountains and mountains and mountains of boxes, mountains of play mats, mountains of organized play, mountains of stuff. It's easily the biggest shipment that either manufacturer's had to do at one time for Genesis. So it's pretty cool. Like we're hitting a high mark. We're shipping a mountain of product all at once. And so when you think about it, worst case scenario, if I didn't know any better and I settled for whoever I called first, I could have paid like 8,500 Canadian to ship it. But instead, I'm looking at around 1,200 plus whatever our brokerage fees will be, because you need to have somebody fill out the paperwork for you unless you're like really, really, really knowledgeable on this stuff. And I'm excited because once again, sometimes it just pays to ask your friends for help. Yeah, I did the whole Google thing, found all the easy to find Google companies, and it didn't really give me any great options. Although the one for 25, 26, 2,700 was not super terrible, but I'd much rather be paying 1,200 to a local company somewhere in my area. So it paid off well just to ask friends for advice, because you never know who you know that might have already done something you're trying to do. So yeah, so that was
Even if you know what you're doing, you still need a broker of record, which is what FedEx sometimes does and things like that. Doesn't excuse some of the higher price points. I don't know if they were that or not. I'm not saying it was them, but even then, you still do need a broker of record. We learned. So yeah, you need the broker no matter what in the mix there. And I'm sure some people that know freight stuff, they're sitting here laughing, going, "Well, of course, we all knew that." It's like, no, 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 that is not something everyone knows. That is very niche for something of this size here. So
yeah, I would think unless in your day job you've ever had to ship
yes.
wooden pallets of stuff, you would have no reason to know. So it's been a fun learning experience, and I got both ends of the great end and the not so great end of customer service, the great end and the not so great end of pricing, like the whole spectrum of how good and how bad things could go over the phone. The companies that want your business and maybe some that don't really care.
Yep.
It was a real eye opener. It's wild how you could call. I think I called 7 companies in total. And out of those 7, some were very eager to help and very, very informative, and others were just like, I don't care. Just give me
Yep.
money and we'll come pick it up. And so it's like, okay, well, so that's what's going on. So I believe we've got the shipping courier that was selected that we're going to stay with. I'd be surprised if anyone that I already called gets back to me late. So I think we're settled on that, and we're just getting our broker of record sorted out. Some of the advice I got from one of the really friendly Canadian ones that was giving customer service above and beyond, I'd say, is I called a Canadian broker of record that one of the couriers actually recommended to me, and they said, to be honest with you, since you're shipping from Canada to the States, most of the time people will call a broker of record in the States to handle that. And then they'll call us when they're shipping from the States to Canada, and we'll do the inbound Canadian. He's like, we can totally do it. He's like, if you want. But generally speaking, it seems like most people want to get a broker of record located in the country they're shipping into, which I thought was really cool. So it was great advice, and that's why I'm just waiting for one final quote from a broker of record I'd reached out to in the States, and then I think like we could be hopefully getting this stuff shipped out in a couple days. I do get the impression that even once we made a decision, it takes apparently about 2 days for them to get the paperwork ready to get a truck booked. One of the things that we have is we don't have a loading bay at our warehouse, so they need a lift gate truck, one of the ones with a power ramp that can actually lower down, pick up the whole pallet, and move it onto the truck. So that takes a little bit of extra work as well. So it sounds like once we get everything locked in, it could be 2 or 3 days from now to be on the road. And then they're saying 4 to 5 business days, which is great, I think,
Good.
because we're going from Ontario all the way out to the West Coast. So at least
That's
that
really
was the
good.
quote. That was the quote that the local company was. So um, if the paperwork gets done really well, it could be leaving Canada this week, which is exciting. So
That'll be
we
awesome.
are very much calling people every day to get all this legwork done. And the part that makes me happy about it too, though, is this is a one-time extra hassle, because obviously once we've done one, and assuming we're happy with the service we get from the courier and we're happy with the service from the broker of record, then we'll just probably continue using them, and they'll be our go-to sources in the future. And it always takes a little bit extra legwork the first time you do something, but once you've done it that first time, then you've
Yep.
got that in your back pocket in the future. So yeah, so I'm real happy, and I just I'll be honest. I think about local game stores specifically like Madtown Hobby because I know there's a couple that have placed orders and they're really excited to get their first official shipments through proper channels in the States, because sometimes in the old days people would like either try and reach out to the old company directly or whatever craziness, or have a friend buy it and drive it down. Like, so it's really nice that people are starting to be able to get all the products directly through proper channels in the States. And Madtown Hobby in particular is someone who I'm motivated to try and get this out as quick as I can, because I know he's excited for it and I want to get it down there. So I've been working on it every day. I promise. Thursday, Friday, and today I worked on it all 3 days, made lots of phone calls, and we're getting it done. It's a lot of slogging to get through at first, but we're getting it done.
Speaking of Madtown Hobby, he had a great live stream last week on Friday. It
Hmm.
was kind of a surprise for me. I caught it, thank God, and it was he did his spoiler, and he did it in a very interesting way. He revealed parts of the card at a time, so people had to
Yeah,
start guessing what it was and stuff. It was really really neat. It was
yeah,
really really exciting way to do it. I like that.
yeah. That was pretty cool. I know he opened up a bunch of booster boxes as well on camera. He was doing
Six, I think.
the old hunt for
Six, maybe.
Zafar, which is pretty cool. So
Rabbit
people got
hunt.
to
Going
see
on a
lots of
rabbit hunt.
packs. Yeah, look, going on a rabbit hunt. Got people got to see a lot of packs get open. They got to do some guessing about the spoiler, and then they finally got to see it. It's pretty awesome. So thanks to Madtown Hobby for that, for his continued content that he's creating. Very enjoyable.
We've got
Um,
two more spoilers coming, Jason. I don't know when yet. I don't think they finalized their dates yet, but
okay.
the Chrono Walkers is
Yep.
has a spoiler they have to do, and same with Cardboard Cohorts, because he's actually getting back into the live side of things with video. He wants to get
Oh,
that done, so he's
that's
gonna
news
have a
to me.
spoiler
That's
too.
nice to hear.
Yep, it's hot off the presses, like moments ago, sort of thing.
Nice. Oh,
He
that's
fell
good
in
to
love
hear.
actually. To bow down to Keith there, he kind of missed it when he saw Keith opening packs, and he realized that he really wants to get back into it. So Keith, I
Mhm.
think you inspired Cardboard Cohorts to get back
There
in
you
the
go.
game. So it
Being
was
a
great.
real trendsetter.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. That's really cool. Good.
Yep.
So,
No,
Jeff,
that was awesome.
anything that you want to talk about? I feel like I have just blabbed your ear off for 17 minutes straight. So,
Well, you had a lot to go through though. Like, there's nothing specific. Yeah, no, there's nothing specific I have because things are just kind of. I mean, okay, I want to say things are rolling, but it's the slow machine moving forward of everything. It's the more you have to do, the longer it takes, sort of thing. So
mhm.
things are moving; they're just moving at that slow machine pace, sort of thing. So that's where we're at right now. There's nothing really to reveal or to talk about. We'll get back into doing a couple of our own spoilers, I'm sure, on Mondays once spoiler season is done for the spoiler people, because we don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
step on their toes. We want to let them have their moments to show off things. And
absolutely.
yeah, no, there's nothing specific that I have. I'm sorry, I'm looking around to see if I have another pack of Genesis around here I can pop open, but I do not, because I opened them last time we were on, or not last time, but a couple times ago. So I don't have another pack here to open to kind of do that, because that was kind of what I was doing to pass the time a little bit.
Do you, do you like funny coincidences, Jeff? Because I have a story that
Sure,
involves a funny coincidence if you'd like to hear it.
by all means, let's hear it.
So, or just earlier today, I got a message through Facebook Marketplace. As some of the viewers will know, over the last few weeks, we've been busy because we emptied out our old store. We sold a bunch of stuff, including our old ice cream machine and a bunch of other things. Lots of cool stuff. But one of the things that we still have for sale is these slat wall units, which are basically they're like displays that would go in the middle of a store, and they're double sided, and you can put hooks into these slats, hence the name slat wall, and you can put the hooks wherever you want and hang up lots of cool product. So I have this Facebook ad, and somebody messaged me today, and the traditional opening is, "Hey, are these still available?" Because that's like one of the
Yeah,
default buttons you can hit on Facebook. So I got the message. I'm like, "Yeah, they are. Are you interested?" Because that's one of the default buttons you can hit back. He's like, "Yeah, I'm very interested." And then he's like, "Out of curiosity, did you have a hobby store?" Because the photos had product on them in my Facebook listing. So it had like magic play mats on one side, and it had booster boxes on metal shelves on the other side. And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, we just shut down our game store about a month ago because we just Or I said to him, we just shut down our game store about a month ago, and right away he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that." He's like, "That's funny though, because I'm actually in the middle of opening a game store." I said, "Oh, well, don't feel bad, because the main reason why we shut down the store is because we're so busy with our collectible card game that we're involved in that somebody had to like something had to give." So and then they're like, "Oh wow." So it started a conversation. New game store is opening, going to be opening. I don't know exactly when, in another month or two, is what I gather. Maybe even quicker, up in Bracebridge, Ontario, which
Oh,
is, I want to say, about an hour and 20 minutes away from me, kind of idea.
mhm,
We just had a store
yeah,
bring us on recently in Aurelia, which is about a 45-minute drive from where I live. And then if you went another half hour, 45 minutes north from there. So between the store in Elmville, the store in Aurelia, and then we got this new store in Bracebridge that sounded very interested today. I sent the person the link to the website and some tutorial videos and stuff, and they were very interested in that. And I thought it was an interesting coincidence that somebody just happened to message me looking for the slat wall units that we used to own, and then it got led into a whole separate conversation about, oh, I'll have to get my partner, who's the TCG event person in our partnership, to reach out to you. And so yeah, so we might have a new store up in the old Santa's Village area, because for those of you who don't know, the little town of Bracebridge, Ontario, has a Santa Claus themed theme park that's open all summer long, where you can ride a Rudolph's Red roller coaster and some other cool rides, all Santa themed and whatnot. Meet the elves, meet Mrs. Claus. So yeah, so you might be able to go play Genesis and then hang out with Santa Claus for lunch after in the future. So how cool is
that'd
that?
be awesome. They've got a nice little town strip there too. I remember I was there, and a great lumber mill because I picked up some lumber there once, and they have a
Yeah,
nice little restaurant in an old house sort of thing. It's very kitschy. It's very old world charm sort of thing. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Santa's Village is their big draw there, and yeah, I'd love for them to carry Genesis so we can add them to the list and talk about the store name on here. That'd be
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of fun.
yeah. So that was
That's
cool. So
funny.
just
What a coincidence.
right.
I
So
noticed in the chat, Madtown Hobby, apparently this was part of his master plan, was to try and get more people online doing videos. So the trap has been sprung,
yeah,
and
well done.
cardboard cohorts got caught in it.
Excellent. That's good. He thought he was out, but we pulled him back in.
Yep, yep,
Pull him back in. Yeah. That's what's new with me.
yeah.
What's new with you, Jeff?
Oh boy, not a heck of a lot really. Like I know that sounds terrible to say, but um, I hmm, can
Have
I
you played
talk
much
about that?
Genesis lately?
Sorry, have I
Have you
played
played
much
much?
Genesis?
Yeah.
No, I've been buried. Um, I think I can talk about this. I don't think this is saying anything out of sorts. I've been buried under setting up the testing for the next set. So
Ah, yes.
that's what I've
That's
been doing.
exciting.
And that's kind of gone to testing now. So we're in testing
Mhm.
phases for that. Um,
When
it's
you
kind of
say
a back
next
and
set,
forth
just so
phase.
people don't get confused, which
Yes.
set would you be referring to? I'm
We're
assuming
talking about
Cataclysm?
Cataclysm. We're
Yeah.
talking about Cataclysm. Metamorphosis has been tested. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's finalizing its artwork and production stuff. We're talking about Cataclysm. So Cataclysm is in the testing right now.
Isn't that
And
exciting?
I don't think I'm speaking out of turn by saying that. I think we're okay with sharing that
Yeah,
information.
yeah.
So that's what I've been neck deep in lately.
Oh,
Yeah,
apparently
Will has
Will
no
is
idea we're
surprised
testing.
by
It's a
this.
surprise to
What?
Will.
Happy birthday, Will. Your wish is granted. You get to play test with new cards.
Oh my gosh. And just in case people don't know, Will is our head designer, and he knows all of this that's going on already. Just in case
Yeah.
people don't know what's going on there, for anyone that's new, maybe.
Yeah, Will's been asking for a little while to start doing some playtesting, but because
Yep.
it's on TTS, or Tabletop Simulator, for those of you not in the know, it tends to fall on Jeff. Jeff's, I think you're probably the most familiar with how TTS works in the company, because you're basically the one who
Yeah,
uploads
probably.
everything
Yeah.
to the mods, right? Everybody else
Yeah.
just asks you to upload stuff, and then it magically happens.
Yeah. Yeah, this needs to be fixed. Okay, I'll go fix it.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of which, we do have a tabletop simulator mod that people can actually play on. They can also do drafting, and we have two forms of drafting on there, and we also have pack battles on there. So, if you have tabletop simulator, um, it's a Steam product. You can download the Genesis Battle Champions official mod and goof around on there, play around a little bit. I believe Tavern Brawler still runs tournaments on that, so you can
Mhm.
join up with them to run. They run a not tournaments, it's a league. I think they call it a league. So it's a monthly league. You can play through them.
Hmm.
If you don't have a local store playing it yet, if you're like Madtown Hobby waiting for the product to get there, at least you can whet your appetite by getting through a few games, building a few decks on there, so you know when the product arrives what you want and what you want to build out of it, sort of thing.
Very cool. Yes, Stephen Penn, that's right. You knew Will all the way back in the beginning when he was just a little judge. Now look at him. He's the head designer. He's the guy who dreams up all the amazing cards that I love to play. So,
How far I have
yeah.
fallen. Oh my God, poor Will. Well, I always remind Will that he brought me into the game. He was the one that taught me how to play actually on the old tabletop simulator mod. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be playing this game. I wouldn't be in the position where I am, and we wouldn't know each other. And he always hangs his head in shame after he hears that because he knows it's all his fault.
Yeah. When I first met you, was it Magic you were coming into the store for that day, or was it Genesis? Is that why I met you? Was Genesis, or because you were
It
big into
was
both?
Genesis because I saw it online on like Facebook and stuff like that. I'm like, this is because I was buying Magic, a little bit of Pokemon, but mostly Magic and stuff like that, and a few independent card games. And I said, you know what, this is a Canadian game. I should check it out. So I went. This was at your old location in
Right.
Penetang, and I picked
Yeah.
up one of each box that was available, which was Beta, Rays, and Jalara, and Welcome to Jalara. And I cracked them open right away that night. I think there's videos of them on my YouTube channel somewhere of me opening those up, and it was kind of love at first sight. I had no idea what they were. I think that was before I learned how to play. Actually, then Will taught me how to play, and I'm like, oh, now I get it. I just thought it was cool, support a Canadian game, and then when I played it, as we always tell everyone, right, Jason? Once you play it, you're like, oh, I get it now. This
Yeah.
game's a lot of fun. It's the what do we say? It's the next logical step in card games. You move
That's
into
right.
this once you're done with just playing cards out of your hand onto a static battlefield. This is where you go.
I wonder if Will knew way back then in those first few times when he was teaching you how to play the game. I wonder if Will knew that he was basically saving the game in the future years down the line. Like, do you
Will
think
has
Will
taught
knew
me
he was doing something epic and amazing when he taught you the game?
Will has taught me everything I know about the game. So every misplay I make, every poor deck build decision I have, it's all based on Will. He taught me all of that. And it's a badge of whatever the opposite of honor is that he has to wear for the rest of his life, and he knows that. And I'm not speaking out of turn. Will has made this joke before too, so I'm not throwing him under the bus there. He's made this joke before too. He let you win his first game. No, Will did not let me win. I don't. Oh, actually, maybe did I win a game? I might have because Will may have ended up having to play half my turns for me to show me how it worked. So it might have been actually Will beating himself in my turn. There we go. Sorry, I'm just adding names as they pop up here.
Yeah, yeah. That's good.
Steven
We're
taught
getting
me how to. So Will taught Steven. Steven taught Eric. Wait, Steven taught Eric. Eric, who did Eric? Did you teach Shahan? Because that'd be funny if it.
yeah.
Yeah, yes, you taught Shahan how to play.
Have they
Eric is
said
one part of the Chrono Walkers, so
yeah,
uh, do look at their stuff when they come live. They do have a spoiler coming, and they just do well. They did a deep dive last week, Jason. I don't know if you caught it. I caught part of it, but I
yeah.
couldn't see the whole thing. They were supposed to go through I think the top 12 cards. They got through
Really?
six, I
Oh,
believe.
was it
They
six?
got
That many?
halfway
Really?
through in their hour and whatever they were on for. So they really do a deep dive into these things, and they don't leave anything by the wayside. So if you want to know about the cards, watch them. They're fun too.
So if Will taught you how to play, Jeff, do we know who taught Will?
I think Will was just born knowing how to play. I think this is just a natural
Oh,
thing for
right
him.
out of the womb, he came out with some aura.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, I think so. He came out with a handful of cards, five and draw one, not six. So something like that.
Yeah, he
Ooh,
came out.
Eric Gallo was 18 cards in 90 minutes. They did. Ooh. Actually, that's a good question. Will, if you're still in the chat, when did you learn? Did you learn like from Sid himself, like old school stuff, or did you just like we were said born with it? It's just natural. It's an innate
Was it
ability of yours
was
to
it in
play
a game
Genesis.
store or was he walking down a dark alley and some guy like popped open a trunk and was like, "Hey kid,
Hey,
I
you want
got
to
the
buy some Genesis?
I got a fix for you. Come here, man. You're gonna love it."
It's you know
cheap
what?
booster
It
packs.
almost
Come on,
sounds
man.
like a bad uh, cyberpunk thing where I've got some aura here for you. You want some aura? That's the
Yeah, I got some
thing.
more. Yeah, yeah,
Aura and energy. That's all we sell here. One's a
yeah,
blue
yeah.
vial, one's a green vial. It's got cyberpunk written all over it. It's got William Gibson written all over it.
So
Oh, sorry,
lots of
sorry we
people
keep
are.
having these lulls, Jason, but I'm just it's one of those days.
Yeah, I hear you. From a sad in 2018 at a convention.
Oh,
Now we know right from the man himself.
which convention, Will?
Very cool.
And while you're at it, can you please tell me your mother's maiden name, the street you grew up on, and the name of your first pet? For totally unrelated reasons.
Just he's just doing a survey, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
What were the
There's
questions for
only a
Will?
handful of banks in Canada, so I figure, he must
Your
bank with one of them. I can get the information through that way.
mother's name, maiden name was Nunya. Dog's name was Your Business.
Yeah, something along those lines. I'm just curious what convention it was at. It doesn't really matter, but that's interesting. And Jason, you learned from Assad, right? I'm guessing like Assad came into you as the store and kind of peddled his wares to you that way.
Yeah, I got um JC, who works with Will on the design.
Yes.
He was working for Haunted Castle Gaming as well, and he also his day job is in the gaming industry, where sometimes for his work he'd wind up talking to stores. So I got to know him because I was good friends with a coworker of his, and his coworker of his and him came up to my store once or twice to hang out, play games and whatnot, because I'm a chatty kind of guy like that, and I chat up all the
Oh,
people that I do business with. And then after I got to know him a little bit, then all of a sudden one day out of the blue, I got a call from the creator himself, Assad. He called me and I didn't know who he was because JC hadn't really talked to me about the game, but I guess JC had talked to him saying, I really like this store up north. You should go up there and see if they want to carry Genesis. So then Assad came up once or twice, taught me how to play, came up a few times to do some learn to play events. I'll be honest with you, we had a real hard time getting anybody to look at the game at first because a lot of people usually are hesitant to try a game that they haven't heard of before. But on like the third or fourth time, we got a couple people out. And then once we got two, then it grew to four, then it grew to six. And then eventually we were just off to the races. And now, like this past Saturday night, we had a bunch of our regulars who didn't make it. And we still had a full eight people for our Genesis tournament on Saturday night in Elmville, which is
it's our
great.
Jackson Queen, right?
That's right. Yep.
That's nice. That's really
Also,
nice.
this Saturday night was fun too because it was the second week in a row that we tried using the new software, the official software
Yes.
for it from Best
How did
Coast
that go?
Pairings. It went great. This time, the second time, we actually had a few people log in on their phones into the Best Coast Pairing software. And it lets you actually upload your results right from your phone, kind of just like how EventLink software does it for Magic. So any players who wanted to sign in on their phones, they could just upload the results. It saved me having to track it down. It's good. I'm very excited about the software. It's easy to use. I'm enjoying it, and the players seem to like it. And it's a big step in the right direction for sure. So yeah.
That's great.
And
That's
then
good
you
to
see
hear.
Aaron from In the Works in the chat there,
Yep.
and he's saying it was a lot of fun. He was there while we were using the tournament software and everything. And yeah, it's exciting. We're getting the pieces in place to start up organized play. This is a big step in the right direction, and we're
Yeah, for
getting there.
sure.
So it's going great. I'm very happy with the software. I can say that. So, and I know all the other stores will be happy, especially because it's just a free account to sign up for, and then you get reliable software.
I think that was the second request people had, right? First was when is Invasion coming out? Second was when is Organized Play coming back? So
Yeah,
Invasion came out, and now we're working on Organized Play. Like we said it'd probably be towards the end of the summer and
yeah,
or sometime this year. I don't think we gave a specific time frame, but sometime this year, and it looks like we're putting everything in place for that. We've got
yeah.
the tournament software now ready to go. You're testing it live. I'm sure others are testing it too. I mean, it's well tested. That was one of their big
Yeah.
the big laurel they rested on was they said that they are very well tested, massive like
Well, because there's so many
1,000
other
people
games that
tournaments.
are also using the
Oh yeah,
software. They can
yeah for
tweak it a
sure.
little bit here and there what they need, but yeah, it's really great.
I've heard of some um, other games that I will not reference that have moved to best coast pairings from other options. because they preferred Best Coast pairings and their reliability. So
Yeah.
that's if that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does, right? When you hear end users talking about that, like companies as end users saying it, that's a really good comment to have.
Yeah, like
Oh, Clear and Tiger, I already got it in.
the fact that one was it called One Piece? They have their own
Yes.
software, but they won't use their own software for their major convention events anymore. Right now, at least, they're temporarily using the same software that we are, Best
Mhm.
Coast Pairings, and I think that just says so much. You know that big successful games, really well known games, are using the same software that we are. So it makes a lot of sense.
When I found out Catan was on it, right? Catan is the board game that one, I didn't know that they needed tournament software, but they're
Right?
probably
Yeah.
the board game that everyone that wants to move beyond Monopoly first plays. Catan. That's what
Yeah.
everyone introduces people to, right? Oh, you want to play a different board game? Try Catan. It's the first thing you go into. So
Mhm.
that really speaks volumes. That's something that has much in the industry. That's really impressive.
Yeah, I agree for sure.
Do you mind, Jason, if I go through the names of people, make sure we've got everyone?
Sounds great.
Awesome. So we've got Damien C, Cardboard Cohorts, Timmy T, Madtown Hobby, Jeremy H, Will K, Edward T, Brian P, Jalarian Tiger, Stephen P, Eric L, and In the Works. We've got 12 people listed right now. So if there's anyone that hasn't heard your name, drop a quick comment in the chat, and I will to the magic spinny wheel, and you'll get a pack of Invasion at the end of the not at the end of the night. It has to be sent out to you, but you'll win it at the end of the night, and then it'll find its way to you.
That's right, and that includes free shipping. Don't worry, if you're down in the
Yes.
States, it doesn't cost you a dime. We mail out
Yep.
all the booster packs that people win to them free of charge. So if you're watching and haven't commented yet, all it takes is a simple hello or something to that effect,
Yep.
and you can get a chance to win a free booster pack of Genesis cards.
They can even just send an emoji as long as it's a nice one.
As long as it's as long as it's a nice one. That's
Yep.
right.
Or a funny one, I guess. Funny works too.
Yep. Sure. Well, I
I don't know what else to go over, Jason.
yeah.
We've kind of gone over everything. Oh, one thing I'll mention is that I noticed some talk on the fan Discord of actually two things I noticed. I should say one on the fan Discord. I've noticed some chatter about deck building. I think Will kind of poked out there for people to start coming up with some decks and whatnot. That sounded like a lot of fun. I was reading through
Mhm.
some of those and realizing that I'm a deck builder, so I have to grab one of those that I like and just use that. Maybe replace a couple cards here and there, a little bit of tweaking to personal preferences, but yeah, there's people that think well beyond me. And I've noticed Andrew from Cardboard Cohorts dropped a question in our Facebook, and I hope maybe he starts that trend up again. Where days there's a question just to engage people, ask them. I think today's was what champion they're most looking for. Mistaken. Ooh, something like that. It was about the
Yeah.
new set champions, and it was really nice to see that. Got some great engagement from people, and it's fun to see other people than us starting the conversations. I know we've had it for a while, but even new voices now, which is really nice to see. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
it's definitely been fun in the last few weeks to really start to see the community liven up again and get more chatty. It's exciting. I don't know if that's just because we're in the middle of spoiler season or because we're getting closer to the release itself or what else. Maybe just the fact the nicer weather's coming and people are starting to come alive again. But
They're
yeah,
waking up from
it's
their slumber, from their
right.
yeah.
It's really nice to see so many people chatting and building excitement and yeah, and the payoff's going to be there. I can't wait
Yeah.
for when Metamorphosis comes out. It's going to be so much fun.
Sorry, in the works. I should clarify. Not a technical deck builder. Me as a deck builder, I am not a good deck builder. I cannot build decks to save my life. For a virtual deck builder, it's Tabletop Simulator, or hopefully at some point be talking to a party. We've started a couple conversations, but they haven't gotten to the finish line yet. So we want to make sure, much like we did with Best Coast pairings, we want to pick the right one that's one gonna integrate with everything and also not leave the fan base wanting. We have to make sure we find the right option there that's gonna work best for us.
Well, I think we're
I
going to
mean,
have to
also
spin
pen
that
and
wheel
paper.
soon.
Yeah, I think so. We're pushing. I know we're later than usual, right? Because usually we be ending at 8. Now we're at 8:40, but Yeah, maybe we'll spin the wheel soon because Jason, honestly, I've run out of things to talk about because there's some things I can't talk about, and other than that, there's not enough going on that I can talk about, and I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say. So,
So mysterious.
yep, yep, I'll bite my tongue. It's not really mysterious. It's upcoming stuff. That's all. I just can't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're always working so far ahead. As you said, we're
Hmm.
already playtesting Cataclysm.
Yeah,
And if we're playtesting Cataclysm, that means that we're designing cards for the set after that one.
yeah,
It's always a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes it's easy to forget, wait a minute, what month are we in? Oh yeah, real life we're in this month, but
yeah.
I'm playtesting for that month and I'm card designing for this month. And is Jeff ever going to make it to Elmville for a
I
game?
hope so. I've just been running ragged right now between this other work and family stuff because it's just I don't know why everything kind of just piles on in the springtime for me. It's probably the worst possible time for me. Usually mid to late summer and mid fall are my downtimes when I have free time to do stuff. I'm hoping I get a chance to get up there sooner than that because it'd be really nice. I mean, even if I don't play, just to say hi to everyone and shake hands and kiss babies or whatever politicians do. They don't do that anymore, do they? I think that's frowned upon. So just shake
I think
hands.
after COVID, it's a little more frowned upon.
Yeah, yeah, fair point. Fist bump. We'll just do fist bumps. That's it.
Fist bumping babies? My God, man. Go easy on the babies.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now.
Matt Down Hobby asked a
Nothing
question.
down.
Sorry if this is known and
Doesn't
he's
know.
forgetting. Is there a release date for Met or a reveal date for the release date? We don't have a firm date locked down. The truth of the matter, though, is there's only one or two things that we're trying to get sorted out. So we're still hoping, like Jeff had said, for a mid to late summer release. We still are on track for that, but we don't want to make a promise on a date and then realize that we spoke too soon. So it's a lot of things. It actually kind of goes back a little bit back to the whole trucking discussion on.
Yeah,
Even though we've done one set, but we're still looking into seeing if we can maybe um, find better partners for the shipping and the importing and the exporting and that kind of stuff. So that's part
yeah,
of what's going on right now. And then part of it too is we have to, once we're ready to firmly commit, then we find out when we fit into the schedules for A, the printer, and B, the shipper that we're going to wind up with and all that. So it's just mainly some logistics that still have to get sorted out. Every time we do this, it'll get a little bit easier, but
yeah,
you know, that's where we're at right now. So we don't have a firm final date locked yet, but I think when we do announce a firm final date, it'll still be within the window that we're hoping for. So don't despair or anything. We are hard at work on it.
yeah, yeah. To answer in the works question there that he was asking about Timmy, we mentioned earlier on Timmy about Tavern Brawlers, but it is good to mention him again because we were talking about the tabletop simulator mod.
Yeah,
For your information in the if you need to play outside of a time frame when your local team can play, your local group can play, you can join the Tavern Brawlers League. I think they run monthly, as in they run a bunch of games over the course of a month and then they reset it for the next month. And they pair you up with someone. You have, correct me if I'm wrong, Timmy, I think it's like 5 days to get your game in with your opponent online through Tabletop Simulator. Excuse me, and then you just post your finishing there, and they do prize support, I believe, and everything like that.
yeah,
So Tavern Brawlers is a really great way if you don't have a local scene, building your local scene to through Discord. So if you look on the Genesis fan Discord or on the Tavern Brawlers Discord, you'll get access to it.
yeah.
Yes, it's just
The chat in the
TTS.
organization is through Discord, but yeah, you have to play via TTS.
Yeah, yeah, and it is very casual. I think I played in one, maybe two, back in the day, and I think I had 4 games, and one person couldn't make it to something happened in life, a problem. They tried giving me the win. I reported it as a tie because it's that casual. I felt bad. Something happened in their life or something. And I said, no, no, no. Report it as a draw. I'm not going to take a win from you because something crappy happened in your make one of those days.
Yeah,
So it is very,
nice.
very casual like that. It's a lot of fun. That Tavern Brawlers is great. They do other games too and stuff like that. So do follow them if you don't. Go look them up. They were on one of our earlier streams, Jason. I don't remember what
That's right.
or I'd direct you guys back to it, but you can find it, I'm sure, if you look.
Yeah, it's quite a while ago now, I think. I feel like it
Yeah,
was in the teens. If I,
yeah. This time last year.
ah,
Almost. Not quite,
oh
but
my
almost.
God.
Oh, he's on it. In the works is going to look it up.
There you go.
um, we've got no more names there, Jason. Do you want to do the spin now? I mean, I know we got 15 minutes till 9, but maybe we'll call early tonight if unless there's something pressing that we need to get off our chests.
Yeah, no, I would just go ahead and do the wheel, I think. It's okay that sometimes we just don't have a lot of stuff to gab
Yeah.
about. I don't want to artificially drag it on for people. I'd rather keep the fun and
Yeah.
games going and then let it die when it's time to let it go.
Just say let it die when it's time to let it go. Okay, let it go is better. Let's see if that got on any kind of framework that shows.
Oh, you're
Sorry, I'm a little
perfect.
delayed here.
It's
It's
exactly where
perfect.
you want it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. Okay, so let's shuffle up. We've got 12 entries here.
Very cool. One of these 12 people is going to be a winner. The rest of you are also
And
winners, but one of them's going to be like a winner. You know what I mean?
and Marcus hasn't joined in the last 30 seconds to put his name in it, so he's probably not going to win,
Yeah,
unlike he did the
right.
last time.
Oh God. There we go.
No offense meant to Marcus. That was fun.
Yeah, he's
Let's
been
see,
the
and we
king of
are.
late entry winning.
It's is
Damien.
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 Wow. I think Damien was the first comment on the YouTube video on the stream.
Yeah,
So he's been here the longest.
that hard work pays off.
It really, really does.
Congratulations.
That's awesome,
And
Damien.
he's back.
Congratulations. Shoot a message over to hello@edgeofexile.com and Jason and Janice will get your price support packed up for you.
What was that email address again, Jeff?
Hello@edgeofexile.com.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure I wrote it
I,
down
I
right. It matches
was
what
gonna
you
say,
said.
should I have said it slower so you can click it? No, never mind. You got it on the right.
Yeah.
I'm delayed, like I said, so I wasn't sure. I'm like, oh, he was asking on purpose so that he had a chance to switch screens. I
Yeah,
should have slowed down what
exactly.
I was saying. Oh boy. Well, if there's no other questions, then I guess we can let people go. Everyone can have an early bedtime tonight.
Or like early watching TV or, whatever else you're up to, video games, whatever cool things. Maybe deck
You can
building for
watch
your next
Fallout now. You can play
Genesis
Fallout
event.
now. A bunch of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for coming out. Jeff, thanks for coming out once again.
Of course, thank you.
It was a lot of fun. And I guess we'll see everybody next week. Jeff, what do you want to say before we say goodbye?
I want to say thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next week, like Jason said, at our regularly scheduled time.
Yes, we'll do our best to be here at 7 p.m. next week. Thanks, Jeff.
One more
Appreciate
thing.
that. Yeah.
One more thing I forgot. Check out the spoilers that have happened, and do go follow Cardboard Cohort and oh geez, Chrono Walkers, so that you don't miss their spoilers. So do find the spoilers that have happened and follow the people who haven't spoiled theirs yet, so you get the whole run of what's being revealed so far for.
It's a very good idea putting on a not premature, but a preemptive subscribe to those channels so you don't
Yes.
miss out when the spoilers come
Yes.
out. Very smart.
Yeah.
All right. Last words
Excellent.
go to Jeff. Go ahead. Take it away, Jeff. What do you want to say?
Toodles, everybody. Oh, wait.